Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Rustboro City, where the Rustboro Rockies are hosting the Fortree Flyers. Fortree Flyers are going to start out with Horlucha and Talonflame, whereas the Rustboro Rockies are going to be starting out with Kabutops and Barbaracle. Let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today's battle, the Rustboro Rockies or the Fortree Flyers. Two very inconsistent teams so far this season. Talonflame going to have that speed advantage. Fortree Flyers, the quickest team in the... It's going with the Misty Explosion. Talonflame has taken itself out of this battle with its very first move and actually does the most damage to its own teammate Horlucha before we even get to start things off. Amazing. Talonflame just taking itself out of the battle like that. Horlucha now is going to go with an energy ball. This will actually be super effective. And it's going to target Kabutops. And that's going to finish Kabutops off. Both teams are down one Pokemon as Barbaracle has the opportunity. If it can finish Horlucha off, this will be an amazing start, but instead it throws the toxic spikes out onto the side of the Fortree Flyers as both teams are now down one Pokemon after the first turn. Noivern is coming out for the Fortree Flyers, the Dragon Flying type, as we have Omastar coming out, another Water Rock type for the Rustboro Rockies. Unbelievable start there. I cannot believe Talonflame just took itself out before any other moves had been done. Noivern's going to have the speed advantage of 123, and it's going to go with a Spark. This will be super effective, and goes for Barbaracle, taking it down into the yellow. I'm still trying to catch up from that first turn. That was amazing. Horlucha doing fantastic to do that energy ball to level things up on this. And goes with a tackle to Barbaracle. Not very effective, considering Horlucha also has 118 speed. So Noivern and Horlucha very quick, and Barbaracle is going to go with an overheat, targeting Horlucha. And Barbaracle is going to finish Horlucha off as it lowers its own special attack in the process. The fighting flying type has been eliminated. Omastar has the opportunity to target solely Noivern here, and it's going to go to the tea time. So everybody's going to eat their leopard berries, and I have an opportunity to catch my breath. That is a fantastic start to this battle. Unbelievable, but currently sitting in 7th, you have the Rustboro Rockies, who have a 4-3 record. They have been very consistent so far. They were the first team to actually beat the Cinnabar Flare. So they definitely, although they're in the top 8, they want to get some consistent wins. As we have Braviary coming out for the Fortree Flyers. Braviary, very impressive physical attack of 123. Noivern's still going to be going first here. But the Rustboro Rockies need this win. They need to start building consistent victories. They even lost last week, so they're likely to still be in the top 8. And Noivern's Infiltrator has just become Pickpocket, the same ability as Barbaracle. Braviary now. It's going to go with a Psycho Shift, but that will fail. Barbaracle now has that 105 attack, 115 defense, and it's going to go with an Aqua Jet. And it targets Braviary. Decent hit as Omastar has its opportunity now. And it's going to go with a Leaf Blade. This won't be very effective on the flying types, but they continue to target Braviary on the field at the moment. Fortree Flyers, on the opposite end of the Rustboro Rockies, actually were on top of the ladder after 3 rounds. They were undefeated, but they have lost their last 4 games. That is a horrible way they've been going. They need to stop that losing streak and start it, as they are now sitting 14th on the battlefield. They need to start working their way back up into the 8. Braviary now. It's going to go with the Dragon-type move, Outrage. I'm going to see this hit for the next number of turns, and it's going to finish Barbaracle off with the first turn of the Outrage. Amazing there by Braviary. Omastar now has that 115 special attack, and it's going to go with a Roar. Could potentially send Braviary back to the party, and that it will. So the Outrage will stop. As we now have Sigilyph come out for the Fortree Flyers. Sigilyph with that 103 special attack. And we have Aerodactyl coming out for the Rustboro Rockies. So we have seen all 3 Cantonian fossils in this battle now. Aerodactyl with that 130 speed, so you have to think it's going to go first at Pokemon that was almost drafted to the Fortree Flyers, in fact, as it is a rock flying type. Aerodactyl goes with the Play Nice on Noivern. Aerodactyl's also got that 105 attack stat to go with its 130 speed. Noivern now. It's going to go with a Draining Kiss. And it will target Omastar. Gets a decent hit on the rock water type. Sigilyph now goes with the Endeavour, but it won't affect Omastar. It has its opportunity to respond. And it's going to go with a Payday. We're going to see these coins scattered all over the battlefield. Now this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and I do not think we're going to hit our 20-minute time limit to go into single battle overtime. With the way this battle is going, it should finish before then. But you never know what will happen in a Metronome battle with the moves that they can come up with. Aerodactyl setting up a light screen, making its team stronger against special type attacks. And Noivern's going to go with a Confide. And it continues to focus on Aerodactyl. Lowering Aerodactyl's special attack there. I feel like I'm still catching my breath from the very beginning of this battle, as Sigilyph's going to go with a Sweet Kiss. Who will also target Aerodactyl, which will leave Aerodactyl confused. So hopefully that'll benefit the Fortree Flyers. Rustboro Rockies need Aerodactyl to shake off that confusion. As Omastar goes with a Fell Stinger, targeting Noivern, not very effective. Barely leaving a mark on the Dragon type. Aerodactyl with that confusion, and it won't shake it off, actually hitting it itself, taking its first damage of this battle. Noivern has the chance to follow it up, and it's going to go with a Psyshock. And it still continues to target Aerodactyl. Sigilyph now with its chance, and it's going to set up a grassy terrain, which will actually only really benefit Omastar because it's the only one on the ground at the moment, but it will restore health in between turns. Omastar now going to go with a Fire Fang, targeting Sigilyph, taking its first damage of the battle as Omastar there restores its health from that grassy terrain. As always, in our description below, we do have a link to our Instagram page where you can get regular ladder, fixture, and season updates. Aerodactyl this time is able to shake off its confusion. And it's going to go with a Body Slam. Targeting Noivern. These two keep going back and forth, and it takes Noivern down into the yellow as Noivern's pickpocket ability will steal the Leopard Berry from Aerodactyl. That high horsepower won't affect Aerodactyl thanks to its flying type, being immune to ground type attacks, but Electro Ball is going to be super effective regardless of who it hits, and it will go for Omastar, taking it down into the yellow. Omastar now with its chance to respond. And it's going to go with a Flare Blitz. It will get recoil damage from this, but it should do a lot of damage. You have to think, taking Sigilyph down into the yellow. And there's that grassy terrain again benefiting Omastar as it restores a little bit of health. Our Fortree Flyers, as I was saying, desperately want this win. They're sitting 14th. They need to get closer to the top 8. We're going to get a dive now coming from Aerodactyl. It'll hide underwater, which means Noivern and Sigilyph need to target Omastar. There's spikes being thrown out by Noivern, so whoever comes onto the field next for the Rustboro Rockies will take damage from that. Sigilyph now is going to go with a Burning Jealousy, but Aerodactyl will avoid that attack. Omastar, however, will be taking not very effective damage from that. And Omastar is going to set up a safeguard which will prevent its team from getting status conditions such as being poisoned or burned. It can be very beneficial for the Rustboro Rockies. I've actually commonly seen Pokemon use that too late in the Elite Challenge League so far this season. Aerodactyl goes with its dive, still continuing to target Noivern. Even though it's not very effective, these two keep going back and forth. Noivern now going with a skill swap. And it continues to target Aerodactyl. So the pickpocket and the unnerve that these two have will be switched with each other. Sigilyph now going with a guard swap. It will target Omastar. Now Omastar's going to go with an Iron Defense, which means its boost in its defense is that 125 base defense. Will go up greatly. And again, Omastar continues to restore health. It's almost back in the green thanks to that grassy terrain. Omastar also having that 115 special attack. It hasn't seemed to take advantage of it yet though. We're going to get an Acid Spray coming from Aerodactyl. And again, Noivern and Aerodactyl keep going back and forth as Noivern is taking down into the red and has its special defense lowered, thanks to Aerodactyl. Now Noivern's going to ride that Surf. This is going to hit everybody on the battlefield. Super effective there on Aerodactyl, taking it down into the red. Aerodactyl and Noivern saying, whatever I can do, whatever you can do, I can do better. And a Thunder Punch coming from Sigilyph is going to finish Aerodactyl off, and it has been eliminated with that super effective critical hit. Omastar needs to avenge its teammate, as they are currently sitting one Pokemon less than the Fortree Flyers. We get a Horn attack from Omastar that almost takes down Noivern, who just holds on. Barely. But we still have 4 Pokemon remaining for the Fortree Flyers. We only have 3 left on the Rustboro Rockies. And we have Rhyperia coming out for the Rustboro Rockies, who's hurt by the spikes as it enters the field. But Rhyperia is so physical. 140 attack, 130 defense, and 115 HP stats. This Pokemon is very physically powerful. As Noivern goes with a Psybeam, targeting Rhyperia. Rhyperia being weaker in regards to its special attack and special defense. And we also get a Meteor Beam now coming from Sigilyph, so that speed advantage still going to the Fortree Flyers. Now that Aerodactyl is off the field. Sigilyph's special attack will go up. We're going to see that move finished off on the next turn. Omastar now is going to go with Gastro Acid. And it will target Sigilyph, trying to prevent it from landing that Meteor Beam on the next turn. But instead, it will only suppress its ability, as opposed to doing damage. Get a Fire Lash now, coming from Rhyperia, which is going to take Noivern out of this battle finally after it held on, even with a critical hit. But any damage you have to think would have taken Noivern out of this now. But Noivern is eliminated. This will level things up for the Rustboro Rockies, as we're going to have Braviary come back out onto the field for the Fortree Flyers. Both Pokemon with only 1 Pokemon remaining on their bench. 2 currently on the field. And Sigilyph's going to go with this Meteor Beam now. Massive damage to Rhyperia, taking it down into the yellow even though it's not very effective. Braviary has the potential to follow it up. Goes with a Zap Cannon, but it won't affect Rhyperia, who is a Rock Ground type, making it immune to all electric attacks. And we get an Ingrade now from Omastar, who's continuing to try to restore its health. Rhyperia now has only a 40 base speed, so much slower, especially than the Fortree Flyers. But it's going to go with an Ancient Power. This will be super effective on the flying types. Big hit on a Braviary, taking it down into the red. There's Omastar there. Again, restoring health, this time thanks to the Ingrain. Braviary and Sigilyph both in the red. The Rustboro Rockies, Omastar and Rhyperia both sitting in the yellow. So the health advantage is going to the Rustboro Rockies. So when you think about it, they're actually winning this battle at the moment. That Spit Up will fail from Sigilyph. That speed advantage though from the Flyers can change things in an instant, as we're going to get a Leafage now coming from Braviary. And it's going to target Rhyperia, and it's going to finish it off with that super effective move. Rhyperia is eliminated. The Fortree Flyers are back in front. Omastar now goes with a Luna Dance, so Omastar's actually going to take itself out of this battle. There's only going to be 1 Pokemon remaining for the Rustboro Rockies. Unbelievable. I cannot believe Omastar just gave up its team's opportunity. We have Tyranitar, the pseudo-legendary, coming out for the Rustboro Rockies. Has that 134 attack, as well as 3 other stats, sitting at 100 or above. So Tyranitar can massively finish this off and change the whole complexion of this battle. Sigilyph though, again that speed advantage still goes to the Fortree Flyers. Sigilyph goes with the attack order. This will be super effective on the Dark Rock type. Braviary has the potential to follow it up. It's going to go with a Baby Doll Eyes, so it's only looking to lower the stats now of Tyranitar. Tyranitar's amazing attack stat will be lowered there. Tyranitar can get a Rock Slide, it'll do massive wonders. But instead goes with a Drain Punch, looking to restore some of its health. And it will take Braviary out of this battle in the process. So Braviary has been eliminated. And the last Pokemon for the Fortree Flyers will be coming out onto the field now. And it's going to be Archeops with its 140 attack. So its attack is actually more than that of Tyranitar's. And it has the speed advantage to go with it of 110. Archeops now, quickest Pokemon on the field, goes with a Scratch attack. This will not do a great deal of damage to the Rock type. More than expected, but still not very effective. Sigilyph now is going to go with the conversion too, so it's not going to go for the offensive type move. Instead, it will change its type into poison. Tyranitar now. It's going to go with Clear Smog. And it's going to target Sigilyph. And it almost takes Sigilyph out of this battle, but Sigilyph doing similar to Noivern earlier. It's just holding on in this matchup, which is big for the Fortree Flyers. That 2-1 advantage. Archeops still at the speed advantage. Going to go with a Belly Drum, so it's going to halve its health, but it's going to maximize that already amazing attack stat. It needs to capitalize on this though. Sigilyph now, with its 97 speed. It's going to go with the Thrash, so you know it's going for something offensive for the next number of turns. Will take Tyranitar down into the yellow with that not very effective move. Tyranitar goes with a Defog, so it doesn't go for an offensive type attack. However, Archeops' evasiveness will be lowered. So we have Sigilyph just hanging on and Archeops and Tyranitar both sitting in the yellow. Tyranitar needs to go for something offensive, but we're going to get a U-turn from Archeops. Another bug type move, and that will finish it. Archeops has eliminated Tyranitar and gotten the win for the Fortree Flyers. A massive victory. They've ended their 4-game losing streak. Well done to the Flyers, beating the Rustboro Rockies here in Rustboro City. Unbelievable, considering the very first move, that missed the explosion from Talonflame, got the Fortree Flyers off to a terrible start. Thankfully, Hawlucha was able to follow it up with a very impressive Energy Ball, taking out Kabutops as the very next move. So 2 Pokemon taken out in the first 2 moves of this battle. But it was very hard for the Fortree Flyers to really get in front. But once they did so well. Braviary with its Outrage, which I'll give it to Omastar, getting Braviary off the field with that Roar after this to prevent that Outrage from continuing. But the Fortree Flyers have finally broken their losing streak of 4 games. They now have a 4-4 record. They're going to want to try and get another win next week when they host the Goldenrod Giants in Fortree City. Whereas the Rustboro Rockies, again, just cannot be consistent. They've now lost 2 games in a row. They also have a 4-4 record. But next week, they'll be hosting the Battling Angels. Again, they'll be in Rustboro City. And they'll definitely need to try and build some consistent wins, which they have not been able to do all season. But Omastar, that was the massive turning point when it took itself out of this battle. Tyranitar did its best, but had to try and take down 3 Pokemon. We're yet to see a Pokemon come back from a 1-3 advantage in the Elite Challenge League, to my memory. And unfortunately, this wasn't it. Archeops finishing it off with a very impressive U-turn, taking Tyranitar out and getting that much-needed win, as I said, for the Fortree Flyers. But Nidorinas, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field today. And always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.